Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam me astu Tadatmani Nirate Ya Upanishatsu Dharma Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we saw the prana upasana or meditation upon prana as one's own self. Now we go to the page number 10. So this prana upasana is found in all the Upanishads. And this dialogue or samvada or even the dispute among the sense organs, that story also is found in Prashna Upanishad, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, with some changes. Now we go to the another famous meditation called the Panchagni Vidya, where the universe is looked upon as a cosmic yajna or cosmic sacrificial fire, that there are 5 fires constantly going on. Ahutis, oblations are being offered in these fires, and that's how the praja, all the living beings are born. It's a very beautiful view or perception of the universe. As we say, the universe is manifestation of Ishvara. And therefore, Ishvara is manifest in many ways. Ishvara is order or harmony. Then many kinds of orders or harmonies are there. So one order is yajna, means self-offering. You can call it self-sacrifice or self-offering. Yajna is a typical fire ritual in which, as you know, there is a altar in which the fire is kindled and the devatas are invoked in that fire, and offerings are made to fire, but to those devatas, because now the devata is a fire, the devatas are the fire, and so you're offering to devatas. You also said that the fire is the messenger which carries all these oblations to devatas. Another way of looking at it. So in this, the yajna is really the primary subject matter of the Vedas. The Karmakanda section of Vedas, the primary subject matter is yajna. Yajna, or basically that was a way of worshipping God. In Vedic times, we did not have temples to the best of our knowledge, or did not have these tangible forms that we have today. And the way of worshipping Devata, worshipping is pleasing them by making offerings that they like. So different devatas or deities or gods are there. There's nothing discussed in the mornings. One Ishvara alone, who is manifested all these different devatas. So Ishvara is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, is so vast beyond our imagination. So kasya stotavya, Katividha guna kasya vishaya sakasya stotavya. Who can praise him? Katividha guna. What all virtues he has. He said that even Goddess Saraswati, Goddess of knowledge also, if she takes a paper sheet of the size of earth, has a pen made from the branch of the Kalpata Vriksha, has ink, which is like the contains the ocean, and she describes the glories of the Lord day and night, and still she will never complete the task because infinite or countless are the glories of the Lord. The human mind cannot certainly cannot visualize or cannot think of that in the mind, and therefore you take some chosen attributes which are inspiring and which are therefore represent a given aspect of Ishvara. That's called Devata. Who is Devata? Ishvara alone. A given aspect or given quality or given glory or given power or given greatness is described. So Ishvara's a given manifestation with given glories and power is called a Devata. So even Vishnu also is a Devata where primarily we worship Ishvara in the aspect of sustenance. So Brahma also is Devata where primary aspect is creation. Rudra also is Devata, primary aspect is destruction. And so on and so forth. So there are countless gods. Because there are countless virtues. And so how to basically the reason why we worship Ishvara is to please him. Because we need his grace. Now you need the grace depending upon what your needs are. You have a lot of worldly needs also based on the body and then your families and responsibilities. So you need certainly all the worldly resources also. You may pray to Devatas for that. When you grow out of that, then you realize that the needs are even more something different from that. Then there are other needs also. Then you realize that you need to grow and that you need Antakarana Shuddhi, purification of mind. So for a spiritual seeker also, or a seeker of knowledge, this purification of mind is a great need for what Vedanta calls sadhana, chatushtaya, sampatti, viveka, vairagya. You can pray for that. Basically, we need grace of Ishvara either to live the worldly life or for spiritual life also. Therefore, a form of worship is there. In Vedic times, it was this yajna. And so yajna is the most exalted concept of the Vedas. Because the great Purusha Sukta says that the whole universe also was created from yajna. Yajnena yajnamaya devaha atani dharmani prathamani asanna. So devatas perform yajna or a sacrifice from which the whole universe was born. So yajna becomes the primary dharma. And all the dharma, ultimately, all the virtues and values of yajna inherent in that when you translate yajna as the offering. Because in yajna ritual also the most important aspect is the offering. Devatodeshana dravya tyaga, that you make an offering of a particular dravya or a substance, keeping in mind the devatas. So Lord Krishna gave a much wider meaning to this word yajna. That not only the fire sacrifice, but of course, which is yajna in a primary sense, But in second it says any action you perform where there is spirit of self-sacrifice. You're offering something that you are or that is yours, that also can be called yajna. So yajna tadartham karma kaunteya, perform karma in the spirit of yajna. So the whole universe then, the Vedic seers saw that the whole universe is yajna. One of the ways of looking at the harmony is that there's a cosmic yajna going on. But everything is offering itself. Lord Krishna briefly described, which we mentioned yesterday, how the clouds sacrifice themselves, offer themselves, and become rain. And how rain offers itself to the earth, becomes grain. How grain offers itself to become food. How food offers itself to become the semen. How that offers itself to become child. In this manner, we can see how the beings are ultimately a product of yajna. So in this Veda, there is this famous Panchagni Vidya where the whole universe is looked upon as a process of five-step yajna. Not five-fold yajna, but five-step yajna. One leading to the other, leading to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, to us. It's called Panchagni Vidya. So if you can meditate upon Ishvara, who is manifest as yajna. And so here again, like other upasanas or meditations, this also is told to us in the context of an anecdote, an akhyayika. This says Shvetaketu Arvaneha. Another story about the famous story of Shvetaketu is that Shvetaketu is imparted knowledge by his father, Uddalaka. Also called Aruni, son of Aruna is called Aruni, and his son is Shvetaketu. So Shvetaketu, once upon a time, this boy, young man called Shvetaketu, is grandson of Aruna. Panchalanam Samitim Ayaya. Those days, young people, the young graduates, would go to the kings to prove their scholarship. And that way they will be appreciated by the king, devoted by the king. So similarly, this young Shvetaketu also went to the king of Panchala, his court. Tava pravahana jaivalihi uvacha. The name of the king is Pravahana Jaivali. That's the name of the king of Panchala, in whose court this young Shvetaketu goes. And king addresses him a little with a sudden indifference or a certain, I shouldn't say insult, but looking down over, hey Kumara, a young boy, Kumara, Anutva Ashishat Pita iti. Oh young man, has your father educated you? Because father used to be guru and son would be the disciple. Anuhi Bhagavati, yes sir, yes revered sir, yes my father has educated me. Alright. Then king wanted to test this young man. Then several questions are asked. 5 questions are asked. Vethayad itopi prajaha prayanti iti. Hey, do you know where all these jivas, when they depart from here, where will they go? Do you know? Na Bhagavaha. Venerable sir, I do not know that. Vethada punaravartante iti. Punaravartante. And do you know how they returned back, having gone? Na Bhagavaha. No, sir, I do not know. Vetha patho devayanasya pitruvanasya vyavartana iti. You know where this path to devatas and path to the mains, where they separate, do you know that? No, sir. Veta yatha asau loko anasampujyate iti. You know that in spite of all, so many countless jivas going to this world, and the Pitruloka, it still doesn't get filled up. Do you know why? Na Bhagavan. I don't know, sir. Vetayada, and then read our. Now, we have taken that part only. Read the first sentence on the page 10. Because that part we will focus. It's a long thing from which we will focus this part. Vetha yatha panchamyam ahutau आपः पुरुषवचसो भवन्ते इति नैव भगव इति. Vetha, do you know? Yatha, just as panchamyam ahuto. Ahuti means oblation. Panchami means fifth. After the fifth oblation, apaha purushavachaso bhavanti iti. That water comes to be known by the word purusha, person. Water becomes a creature, a living being. Do you know how? In the process of offering oblations, after the fifth oblation, how does this water come to be called a Purusha or a living being? Do you know? Neva Bhagava, certainly not. I do not know that at all. Thus the king asked this young man 5 questions and he did not know the answer to any one of them. Then the king says, Athanukim anushishta avachota avacha avachotha yo hi imanina vidyat katham sanusishto bruvida. How do you say that you are graduate? How did you say that your father has educated you? The one who does not know the answers to this 5, how can he claim that he is educated? Then when I asked you, are you educated? Why did you say, yes, I am? You are not yet. So, iti sa ayastaha. He was really hurt by these words of the king, naturally. And a young man again. Vitu ardham ayaya, right away returned to the house of the father. Returned to the father. Uvacha, it's out of anger, sort of, he threw his father. Annushishyava kilama bhagavan abravit anutva shishamide. Sir, you did not really impart knowledge to me. You did not really educate me. You told me that I educated you, now you're all well educated. That's what you told me. But you're not done that. You're not educated me. My child, why do you say that? Panchama Rajanya Bandhu Prasnana Prakshit. In all disdain, it says Rajanya Bandhu. The king is a Raja, is a Kshatriya. The so-called Raja, the so-called Kshatriya, is a bad man. Raja, when you add this Bandhu, this fellow is no good. This stupid king. I'm putting those words. Pancha Prasnana Prakshit. He asked me 5 questions. Tesham ekanchana sakam vivaktamiti. And I could not reply a single one of them. And how do you say that I am educated? How do you say that I am knowledgeable? I could not answer. And then this was done openly in the court, where the king confronted him and young man, do you know this? I don't know. Look at him, how he would have felt. And with all this hurt, he came back to his father. And before that father, he started sort of complaining against the father. His hurt was expressed to the father. How can you say you educated me? You're not done your job. And then still you told me that I'm educated, and see what happened? I'm humiliated in front of everybody by this stupid king. So then, father says, father said to him, Yathama tvam tada etavan avadaha yatha ahamesham ne kanchana veda. Oh my son, the way you are describing this to me, it means that I also did not know any one of those things. Aham isham ne kanchana veda. I also do not know any one of them. From what you are describing, it is very clear that that you do not know any of them. It means that I also did not know any of them. Why? I did not. How do you say you do not know? Because iman avedishyam kathantena vakshamidi. You are my dear son. If I knew all of this, why should I not have told you? I have not told you because I did not know. Not that I deprived you of that knowledge or that I didn't want to tell you or that I overlooked telling you. No. Had I known, I would have told you. See, Shvetaketu also is taken to task by his father in the 6th chapter. That's the next chapter. When Shvetaketu turned 12 years old, and when his father calls him, hey, Shvetaketu, there is no Brahmana Bandhu, the so-called Brahmana in our family. Brahmana is the one who studies Vedas, and you are not the one. You should go to the Guru, get educated, and learn the Vedas. So up to 12 years, the fellow, that is why Swami says, sending children to school and when they are 1 kg, you send them to kg when it's just kg. Sending children at very young age, then like this, the child feels abandoned by the parents. Swami, that's the need of this time, what can you do? The children need to socialize. They should develop social skills, mix with other children, play with them, learn to share. At home, they don't learn all this. And then also they should be prepared to get admission in school. We understand. All right. Then parents should go with them. Mother should go. So then when Swami advised somebody to start a school, he said mothers also should go. They should also be there. So child doesn't feel abandoned. Anyway, the thing is, this is how. But Shvetaketu was 12 years old and he had not yet gone to school. And his father sent him to school. For 12 years, he stayed with his teacher. And came back very bright and brilliant, but a little proud. Anuchanamane, he thinks that I am very learned and I can also teach. Stabdha eva eaya, stabdha, very stiff, not bending to anybody. So father saw this boy. So he Shvetaketu, you are very proud and stiff and unbending and claiming to be very learned. So I am sure that you must have asked of a teacher that by knowing which everything becomes known. The fact that you are displaying this kind of behavior, you must have something special in you. You must gain a special kind of knowledge. I am sure that you must have asked of a teacher and learn from the teacher, knowing which everything as well becomes known. Listening to which everything as well becomes listened. Ashrutam Shrutam Bhavati Amadam Madam. So meaning knowing which everything becomes known. He was shocked. That was a way of creating a shock in him by his father. How do you make him, he's so proud. Now, if you say, hey, you are proud, he won't listen, he'll argue. The only way to, remove the pride from him is ask a question. He didn't. He thought that he knows everything. He did not know this. Now he's scared that my father will send me back, that you have not studied properly. He says, sir, I think my teacher also did not know that. Had he known, he would have taught me. Now this is not the way. Says Bhashyakar, you can never denounce your teacher, never. And he did. He was so scared that he had to go back, that he uttered something he should not have uttered. But the father was very kind. He forgave him. And so how can it be that by knowing one thing you know everything? Then the father gives the illustration how by knowing one plot of earth you know everything, etc., etc. That's Shvetaketu here also. He was humiliated in the court of the king and he comes back complaining this to his father. Father said, I'm sorry, my son. From what you are saying that you don't know this thing, that means I also do not know. How do you say that? Had I known, I would have taught you. To you, my dear son. So in Brihadaranyaka also the story comes. Then the father says to the son, let us go back to the king and let us ask him for this knowledge. So I'm not going to come, he says. So father alone goes. Here that part is not told. But father goes, he doesn't go. I won't go. So I mean, people are people, human beings are human beings right from the time, That children revolt is not unusual. When Brahma, the creator, created the universe, and the first he brought out his 4 sons, Manasaputra, from his, from his Sankalpa, Sanat Kumara, 4 of them. And Brahma is very busy creating the universe, so he asked his sons, please join me in this task of creation. Now, you don't want to join all this karma. We are born virakta, we are born renanse, we don't want to join your karma. Right then. So get out of here, They got out. So these are the stories going on from the day one, So you think that the Vedic culture did not have it? It has. Anyway, so the story continues here. Meaning that this kind of revolt is not uncommon. Because whatever reasons are there, but Sa Gautama, then that part, that dialogue with the son is, then Gautama. So now he has so many names. Gautama also because he is from that lineage of Gautama. So Gautama, Ragna, Ardham Ayaya, it's interesting. Then he's also a Rishi actually. His father, which is the Aruni or Uddalaka or Gautama, is also a sage. Ragna, Ardham Ayaya, he went to the house of the king. When he went to the king, so Tasmai Praptaya Arhanchakara. When he reached the king, then he was duly respected. Because that is how he is Brahmana. And king is a Kshatriya. And therefore, this Brahmana, Gautama, was well respected, revered, and so received the respect. He must have been given also a place, comfortable place to spend night. Sapratah sabhagehe sabhag udeyaya. In the morning then, Gautama, the father, presented himself before the king when the king had his court assembly. In the assembly he went and presented himself before the king. Tam hovacha manushasya bhagavan Gautama vittasya varam vritha. The kings are very generous. They are very pleased when learned Brahmanas come to their court. They feel honored. The kings felt honored when learned people came to them. Say Manusha say Bhagavan Gautama, O reverential Gautama, Manushasya Bhagavan Vittasya Param Runithahayate. It was very, very usual that these Brahmanas or these learned people, then they would generally be poor. What Swami used to say, Brahmana means Daridra. There is no source of income. Brahmana has no source of income. He is not supposed to have. He is sustained only by the society or by the kings. So those days, kings, they took the responsibility of sustaining them. So whenever Brahmanas needed something, they went to the king's court. And here king asked on his own, O revered Gautama, please ask of me any worldly wealth that you want. It's called Manusham Vittam. See, Vittam or the wealth is said to be twofold. Manusham Vittam, Daivam Vittam. When you perform the yaga or a ritual, you need a lot of resources. You need money, of course, to bring all those, materials and things that are required. So, Manusham Vittam or the worldly wealth is required. But now what we are studying since last 10 days is all these various meditations on devatas. That meditation of Devata is also called wealth. It's called Daivam Vittam, is divine wealth. So two kinds of wealth is there, the Manusam Vittam, the worldly wealth, and the divine wealth, the spiritual wealth, which comes to you by way of meditating or worshipping the Devatas or Ishvara. So usually Brahmanas go there for their worldly needs, and therefore the king said, "O revered Gautama, whatever you need, the worldly things, please ask. Param Vrunithaha Sahovacha Tavaiva Rajan Manusam Vittam. O king, let the worldly wealth remain with you. I don't need that." Then what? Yameva Kumarasyan Devacham Abhashatha Tameva Bruhiti. Whatever it is that you told my son, my boy, those 5 questions you asked him, of which he did not know the answer, and he did not know the answer because I, whose teacher, also do not know the answer. And therefore, what you told him, please tell me that. Meaning, give me this divine wealth. I am not here for this worldly wealth, I am here for this divine wealth. Look at this, look at the humility of this learned Brahmana. So, the importance of knowledge, he does not mind asking anybody for knowledge. They say that you should learn from anybody. From Shukadva, Shuka means from Shukadeva, or even from a parent is also called Shukadeva. From anybody, even from a child. That you should be ready to learn. And from anybody from whom you can get the knowledge, you should receive. And so in all humility, Brahmana said to the king, please give me that knowledge about which you asked my son. That is what I want. Sakrutri dukhi babhuva. The king became very sorrowful. Kathannu idi. Kathantu idamidi. How can this be? So king really felt sad. How can this be? Here is a Brahmana who is asking me for this knowledge, and I am a Kshatriya. How can I give him knowledge? Brahmana is so Brahmana is Manushyanam Guru. He is the Guru. And rest are all disciples. So Brahmana always is in place of Guru. Kshatriya, I am in the place of disciple. So you are asking me for the knowledge of Guru. How can that be? So this is again, this same thing happens, a similar thing happens. Again in ChhandogyaUpanishad, the Kaushitaki, another episode comes, where a Brahmana, very learned, whose name is Drupta Balaki, he is Balaki, son of Balaka. Balaka is Balaki. He was very proud. Gargya, because coming from in the lineage of Garga. So he was very proud, means very learned. In this, all kinds of meditations performed. So many he has realized Ishvara and Saguna Brahma. And he thought that he knows everything. So he goes to King Ajatashatru, who is the king of Kashi or Banaras. Very well known king, very generous, very learned. And goes and makes an offer on his own. Who? This Gargya, a Brahmana. Brahmate Brahmaneti, I will teach you about Brahman. Raja said, wow, I'm honored. I'm honored that you say you will teach me Brahman. You know what it means? It means that you accepted me as someone who is always desirous of knowledge. And so you have given me today the honor that I am always desirous of learning. And King Janaka is known that way, and then so in fact, approaching me in this manner, you have given me the status of Janaka. Simply by this statement, I am offering 1,000 cows. Simply by saying that you will teach me, the thing is not begun. 1,000 cows are given. Because I feel honored. And then Gargya starts teaching. But Gargya was a meditator, upasaka of Saguna Brahma. Whereas his Ajata Shatru, in fact, not only knew all Saguna Brahma, he knew Nirguna Brahma also, which Gargya did not know. So says, hey, I meditate upon Brahman as sun, and then with all these attributes, and so this is why, and you also meditate. So don't go further, because I already know this. What do you know? I know. Not only what you told me, I know further that if you meditate with these attributes, and this is the result, and everything told. Then Garge gave him instruction about all kinds of things. Whatever Garge knew, one by one, he kept on. Every time Ajat said, Mama, don't say further. I know this. Meaning that when you're teaching me, it means that you are assuming that I don't know, and you're declaring me as ignorant. Don't do that. So then Gargya ran out of what he had. Then the king says, that's all? Etavannu, this much is all you say? That's all I have to say. Well, this is not all, king says. No, all this was necessary for the pride of the Brahmana to go. He became then fit for the Upadesha. Until then he was not. Then he says, now I submit myself to you as a disciple. King says, that cannot be. This pratiloma means this is a reverse thing. That a Brahmana asking, Brahmana is always a guru. And I am a Kshatriya who is in the place of disciple. How can I teach you? So you know what Ajatashatru says? He says, you please remain in the position of Acharya. You sit in the Acharya's place. I will not become Acharya. I will not instruct you as an Acharya or a Guru does to a Shishya. But I will tell you such that you will know. Because you want to know, therefore, I will certainly tell you and you will know. So very interesting method the Raja employs to reveal the nature of Brahma. But the idea is that this kind of episodes happen where a Brahmana approaches a Kshatriya for knowledge. It happened, but Kshatriya is, so tradition doesn't allow this. So that's why Kshatriya became very, king became very sorrowful. Sakruchriya bhutaha apratyakheyam brahmanan manvanaha. At the same time, this Brahmana has asked for the knowledge, so he can't refuse also. That is what means I cannot teach him because I am a Kshatriya. At the same time, I should not turn him back because he is a sincere seeker. That is how he became sorrowful. Nyayena vidya vaktavya iti, because knowledge must always be imparted according to rules. So this parampara is there, That's the succession of Guru Shish. All these things are there. And that way knowledge should be in a proper manner imparted. Not on the telephone and stuff, in the modern days. In those days, they said that a proper setup must be there. You must approach the teacher in a traditional manner. All the traditionist form also must be adhered to. Spirit, of course, but the form also. So then he said to Gautama, Chiram Vasedi Agnapayan Chakara, may you live here for a long time, for 1 year, live here. Yat Puram Pratyakhyatavan Raja Vidyam, Yatcha Paschat Chiram Vasedi is Agnaptavan, Tan Nimittam Brahmanam Kshamapayati. The king says, I had to do this, that I did not right away teach you. On the other hand, I asked you to live here for 1 year. That was so that he lives with the teacher and gets tuned up with the teacher, etc. says, Yathamatvam Gautama avadaha yathayamna praktvattaha pura vidya brahmanan gacchati. Hey Gautama, the way you told me that you do not know these things, it means that Brahmanas do not have this knowledge. Gautama is Brahmana. If he had this knowledge, he would have received it from another Brahmana. Would have received it from another Brahmana, meaning that if this Vidya or the knowledge was there among the Brahmanas, then you would have had it. From what you said that you do not have this knowledge means that this knowledge is not there with the Brahmanas and the knowledge with the Kshatriyas. No prak tvattah pura vidya brahmanan gacchati. So today now I'm going to impart this knowledge to you. But this proves that before you nobody had this knowledge, meaning that Brahmanas did not have this knowledge. Tasmadu sarveshu lokeshu kshatrasyeva prashasanam abhuditi. There were in all the places a Kshatriya who had this knowledge. And he became the teacher. So even though I know that I should not take the place of Guru, but I realize that the knowledge does not reside with the Brahmanas, and therefore you do not have. The reason why you do not have the knowledge because the Brahmana, no Brahmana has a knowledge. So how can you have? And so far this Vidya is only with Kshatriyas. Even Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Vivaswan Manave. So Vivaswan, Manu, Ikshvaku, all Kshatriya Parampara. Rajarshayo Viduhu. The saintly, kings knew this. Meaning that even Brahma Vidya also was in the Kshatriyas, Rajarshis. Evam Parampara Prapna, even Rajarshayo Vidu. So imagine, Rajarshis were there. Like Janaka and many others, Ashwapati and all these are Rajarshis, meaning the Raja Anaha Rushascha. So they were kings. That means that they were the old lordship. At the same time, the Rishis, that means they had the ability to gain know the subtle things. So this is the background before which the king starts imparting the instruction about this knowledge, Vidya. Nasya Brahmana Anaya Vidya Anushasitavantah. That Brahmanas were not taught this knowledge earlier. Etat prasiddham loke kshatrasya eva anaya vidya prasasanam. So that it's well known that this vidya or knowledge was only with the Kshatriyas. Kshatriya parampara eva iyam vidya etavannam kalam agata. That this knowledge has come down so far by the succession of Kshatriyas. It's all in Vedas, by the way, So, tathapi. So even though so far the knowledge has been confined to the succession of Kshatriyas, teachers and disciples, but even then, ametam tubhyam vyakshami. But still, I will certainly share this knowledge with you. Tvasampradhanadurdvam brahmanan gamishyati. So that after I share this with you, that this knowledge also will be available to Brahmanas. Ato maya yuduktam tachantumarhasi. Therefore, what I said earlier, that I did not right away impart the knowledge to you, I asked you to stay for one. All of this was, I should not have said, Kshatriya should not have done that to Brahmana. I had to do it to create the condition for me to become, you to become disciple and for me to become teacher. That was necessary. So I did. I had no intention of insulting you or hurting you. I had to do that. But you please pardon me for that. And then, Tasmi Hovacha Vidyam Raja, then the Raja started imparting that Vidya. So 5 questions are asked. That will take a million years. But the thing is, of that, one question, which was the last question. Veta yatha panchamyam avatau apaha purushavachaso bhavandede. Hey, do you know how this water becomes Purusha or a living being at the fifth after the fifth oblation, how the first oblation is water becomes a living being, meaning how living beings are created, how they are born as a result of the ahuti, result of this offering, result of the yajna. Do you know that? So that it begins with that. Because the rest of the questions all depend upon this. So this is the first question, first, even the fifth in order of questions, he replies them first. So now read the next one. असौ वावलोकः गौतम अग्निः तस्य आदित्यः एव समिद रश्मयो धूमः अहः अर्चिः चन्द्रमाः अंगाराः नक्षत्राणि विस्फुलिंगाः. Asau Vavaloko Gautama Agnihi. Gautama is the name of again Aruni, that is father of Shvetaketu. Hey Gautama, Asau Vavaloka Gautama, Gautama, Hey Gautama Agnihi. Asau means that one. Meaning, Hey Gautama, this heaven is Agni. So this is found in other Upanishads also, including Mundaka Upanishad also. Tasmad Agnihi, Samido Yasya Surya. So the mantra in Gautama Mundaka Upanishad describes this in one mantra, a whole fivefold. But here it is done in an elaborate way. He Gautama Asau Vavaloka Asau Loka Agnihi. This Loka, which is heaven, is Agni or fire. Yatha Agnihotra Adhikaram Ahaniyaiha. Basically, also because heaven is an effulgent world. Heaven is all, is nothing but is, that's where all the devatas live and they're all effulgent. So, you can see also the heaven is always shining. So, it's also called Agni. And so, the first fire is, heaven is the fire. So, this is meditation, by the way. You may visualize that the heaven is a fire. Then Aditya eva samid, upon in fire you require fuel. That's called samid. Aditya samid. The sun is a samid. So when you light up the fire, then it is a fuel that actually lights up the fire. So the sun lights up. So fire is a heaven. The fuel lights up the fire. Here the sun lights up the heaven. Therefore sun is called the fire. So Aditya samid. Meaning that some kind of sadhurusya or similarity must be there for us to be able to visualize. As I said, meditation involves superimposing something profound upon something profane. And so, what you see is heaven. So imagine that is fire because of the effulgence. See the sun. So imagine the sun is a fuel because just as fuel lights up the fire, so also the sun lights up the fire, which is heaven. So Samindanat Samit Aditya, because it fully lights up the heaven, therefore the sun is the Samit or the fuel. Rashmayaha Dhumaha. The rays of the sun are like the smoke coming from the fire. So Tat Uttatva Uttanad. Because from the fuel the smoke comes, isn't it? And here, what's the fuel, remember? Here, what is the fuel? Sun is the fuel. So just as from the fuel the smoke comes, from the sun the rays come. The rays emerge from the sun, just as the smoke emerges from fuel. Therefore, rays are like the smoke. So in a sacrificial ritual, the sun is in the place of fuel, the rays are in the place of the smoke. Then what else do we have? Then there are flames. In the second fire, there are flames. Ahaha archihi. This day, because that's where day is there when the sun is shining, so that is archihi, the flame. Prakasha samanya, because of luminosity. So flame is luminous, the day also is luminous. Therefore, the day or ahaha is in the place of the flame. The whole fire sacrifice is described there with essential elements. So fire is there, fuel is there, smoke is there, flames are there. So first smoke comes out, then flames come out. When the light of the fire, smoke comes out, and then then the flame comes out. So next is flame. Okay, then Chandramaha Angaraha. The moon is the ember. Angara means ember. So then when the fire goes out, what remains is ember, isn't it? So similarly also when the fire, the sun goes out, the flames go out, the day goes out, what comes is moon. So when all the flames go out, what remains is ember. Similarly also when the day goes out, what remains is moon. Moon is there right now, but you don't see it. Very often, because the daylight is so bright that moon, but once it goes away, this fire and flame goes away, then the embers become evident. So moon is in the place of embers. Some similarity must be there. If, at least Bhashyakara has to show it. Because here just a description is there. So then you have to, because to help us meditate, you require, as I said, similarities. So there are all these blanks which they have to fill up. That's the job that a commentator has to do. Means he should be able to he must be able to visualize and do all of that. You know, you can imagine Bhashyakara. He is able to explain every upasana. It's not for nothing. He's not just a learned person or something like that who just explains intellectually. I'm sure, he must be the one who has this kind of vidya with him. It's not for nothing that it's called Jagat Guru, So, Jagat, universal teacher. So when he talks of yoga, authentically he talks. Whatever he talks about, talks authentically. And that's what makes him the authentic Guru. And that's why we trust his word. He becomes pramana for us, really. Basically, Upanishad is pramana, but he's a teacher. So words of teacher also become pramana, because the only way that we can approach the text is only through the words of teacher, isn't it? Then words of this teacher also becomes pramana, because then you need, of course, to explain his words also to us. So our teacher also becomes pramana. Nakshatrani Visfulinga, then the sparks. So the sparks emerge. So Nakshatrani Chandramas Avayava. So from that ember the sparks emerge, and all the stars. So sparks scatter in all directions. Sparks scatter. Well, the stars are all scattered from the moon as though. So moon is the ember, and all the sparks, the stars are scattered. So also the sparks are scattered from the ember, and therefore the stars are like the sparks. So this first fire is described. Now the whole setup is described. Still the homa is not begun. Then Tasmin etasmiragno deva shraddham jukhvati. In this fire, the devatas make so ahuti is not described yet. So now it's all ready for you to make an oblation. The flames are there, everything, then you to make an oblation. Tasmin etasmiragno, in this fire called the heaven, deva shraddham jukhvati. The devatas make an offering of Shraddha. So the first oblation is Shraddha. So then when you make an offering, then something emerges as a result of this ahuti. Tasya ahute somo raja sambhavati. What is the phala? What's the karma phala of this ahuti? Of the yaga that is performed? Somo raja bhavati. this king Soma is what emerges from that. That becomes Aho in the next fire. So from this fire, what emerges becomes the Ahoti in the next fire. What emerges from it becomes Ahoti next fire. That's how Shraddha Ahoti becomes Somo Raja. When that is offered, what comes out is the third one. This so subsequently of becoming process from Shraddha. So that Prashna Upanishad says, so first creation is Shraddha, and then Prana, and then Shraddha, and all the other things all come. So first Ahuti Shraddha. Then Parjanyova Gautam Agnihi. Then this continues, the description continues. Then what's the next fire? Parjanya, the cloud is the next fire. Tasya Vayureva Samid. What is the fuel in that fire called the cloud? The Vayu. The wind is the Samid. Abram Dhuma. We won't go into great details, but so every fire, all the elements are described. Abram Dhumaha, the clouds are said to be the smoke. Vidyut Archihi, the lightning is said to be the flames. Ashani Angaraha. And then the Ashani also means really the thunder. So imagine naturally that these are all the family of the clouds, So clouds are there, then thunders are there, and the lightning is there. So lightning is the archi, thunders is Angaraha, the embers. Hladunaya, rambling of the clouds, is the Visfulingaha, the sparks. Tasmin etasmin agnu deva somam rajanam juhvati. This next fire, what's the fuel? What emerged from the first fire, which is Somo Raja, becomes the Ahuti oblation into this fire. Meaning that Shraddha became Somo Raja. That Somo Raja is offered here. Tasyahu, the Varsham Sambhavati. From this Ahuti, the rain, Varsham. Rain is the product, is the phala. Then Prithvi, next fire is what? Prithvi. Earth is the third fire. Prithviva Gautam Agni Tasya Samvatsara. Then again it is also what they call the fuel is Samvatsara. Akasha is the smoke. Ratri is the flame. Disha are the embers. And corners are the sparks. Tasmin Agnu Varsham Jukhodi. In that fire, the Varsha. Varsham is the rain. So Soma, the first is Shraddha. From that Soma comes. Soma is offered. From that Varsha, the rain comes. Then the rain is then. From rain comes what? The Tasmin Ahute Annam Sambhavati. Next is the food is a product of Annam. Rain. Purusho Gautama. Fourth Agni is what? Purusha. The male. Purusha stands only for any male in any species, by the way. That's Purusha here. Human male also, but any male. Tasmi Ragnu, the Varsha, that Varsha that came is made as an offering. No, then, wait a minute. So, what happened? Annam, Purushovavat. Then, Samit Prana, Dhumaha, Jihva, Archihi, Akshuhu, Angara, Shrutram, Visfulinga. In that, Deva Annam Jihvati. The fire called Purusha, the Devatas offer Annam, which was the product of the earlier fire, is offered as oblation. So, the male of all these species, they consume food. And the final, Yosha Vava Gautam Agnihi, the final fire is the woman is the final fire. Tasya Upastha Eva Samit, etc. In that, Agno Deva Retah Juhvati. And so, when Agni, the food is offered to the Purusha, then what comes out the Retas of the semen, and that's offered as the fifth oblation, and comes out the Praja. So from Shraddha, What came out? Soma. That is offered to the next fire, which is Parjanya, the cloud. What came out is rain. That is being offering to the next one. Prithvi is the third fire. Rain is offered. What comes out is the Annam, the food. And the fourth fire is what? The Purusha, to which Annam is offered as the oblation. Comes out the Retas, the semen. Fifth fire is woman. When that is offered, what comes out is the Prajaha, means all the living beings. So thus the Upanishad shows how Bhakvihi Prajaha, all the Prajas are all ultimately created from the Yajna. So thus, as though Ishvara is performing this cosmic yaga, homa, cosmic sacrifice, and you can visualize the fivefold sacrifice in sequence. That's how from Shraddha, which is the very first one, Ahoti. So Ahoti is called water. Because usually for Ahoti or for oblations, the kind of materials that are used, either it is milk or curd or ghee or soma. So fluid or liquid is the principal material which is offered in Ahoti. So it's called apa, it's called water, means liquid. So Shraddha here is that water, the first Ahoti, from which comes the Praja. So he says, hey, do you know how? So the question was, Veda, yada panchamyam ahoto apaha purushavachaso bhavantiti. Hey, do you know how after the fifth oblation, the water which is first ahoti comes to a purusha or living being? Do you know how? So thus, this vidya called Panchagni Vidya is what the Raja imparts to the Brahmana. And then many other things are all told, of course. Then one more thing we should, with concluding. So tasmin agno deva reto juhvati tasyahuti garbha sambhavati. That's how the retas is offered to the Yoshit and the garbha is and the child is born. So read the next passage. Passage 18. Itito panchamyam ahuto apaha purushavachaso bhavanti सह उल्बावृतो गर्भः दशवा नववा मासानन्तः शयित्वा यावद्वा अथ जायते. So fifth oblation becomes garbha, becomes embryo. Says that fifth oblation, water comes to be called that person, the living being. So says there, ulba avrutaha, that embryo covered by the membrane. You can see how our sages have addressed every aspect of life. So in the Vedas, all of this also is addressed. In fact, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a whole section, of how to progeny, what's the right, best way to get, good progeny, etc. All that Vidya also is stored in places. Meaning that they were very objective with reference to all aspects of life. And so, therefore, they could even describe this because this is also a reality of the Vyavaharik life. So that fetus remains covered by the membrane for Dashava, Navava, Masanandaha. For 10 or 9 months it remains fetus having slept inside for 10 or 9 months, Shaitva. He sleeps there for 10 or 9 months. Or whatever time is needed, it says here. Yavadva, atha jayate, then takes birth afterwards. Then the description continues. So jata yavad ayusham jivati, tam predam dishtam ita agneya eva haranti. And then this human being that is born, talk of human being that is born, so yavat ayusham jiva, whatever lifespan he has according to his prarabdha, he lives. And then prarabdha is over, But kick the bucket, you know. So Bada Swami said, kick the bucket. Means what? He kicks his bucket and leaves, whether we want or not. So we cry for him. What he doesn't, he has left on his own, you know, because prarabdha is over, he lives. So tam predam dishtam atah agnayeva haranti. So this departed one now, the people carry him. What? Agnaye eva haranti. They take him back to again fire. Yada eva itaha yata sambhuta bhavati. Since he is born of fire, therefore he goes back to fire. First, you know, it started all with fire, which is heaven. So from the fire, this Jivatma is born, unto fire he goes back. That's how the whole cycle is complete. And of course, elsewhere is explained why is cremated. Here, because this is you can say this is also an ahuti. The last ahuti is offered. What's the last oblation? His body becomes the oblation. Because in the Vedic times, everybody was supposed to perform Agnihotra karma twice a day. So the day that the couple gets married, from that day they just offer ahutis, 2 ahutis in the morning, 2 ahutis in the evening. That's how they spend their whole life. Now he's dying, he can't make an offering. So what is the last offering? Vayuranilamarutamachedam bhasmandugam se o kratosmara kratum smara kratosmara. So then last he remembers, and this is last ahuti. His body is offered to fire as his own last, because that is how he has lived his life. Making oblations and oblations. So all that is left, now he himself is left, the body. That becomes his last ahuti. So that is the reason why it is cremated. And then, so it becomes an act of offering. This man or this person has spent whole of his life making offering to devatas through the medium of fire. Agnena supatharaya sman vishwan. Hey Agni, you now lead us to the right path. Of course, Agni is the witness of all his actions also. But then he's offered to Agni as well for the next path, for the right path. So, this way, the Panchagni Vidya, the meditation upon the 5 fires, a very famous meditation upon in the Upanishads. And whether you perform these kind of meditations or not, you can take this passage, read them, and appreciate the wonder that is there in the universe. How Ishvara is. So, all these meditation that we discussed, you need not get hung up about how, Saguna Brahma, don't get hung up with all that stuff. Look upon all of these as the vibhuti of Ishvara. Just in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes his vibhutis in many places. The 10th chapter is called Vibhuti Yoga anyway. It's a chapter describing the glories. But in 7th chapter also he describes, 9th chapter, 8th chapter he describes. Even in 15th chapter also. So Lord Krishna is very fond of describing his glories. They say that he has used his aham, asmat pratyaya 108 times in Bhagavad Gita. That is not right. In fact, when you communicate, you should avoid this I, Either you say we or he or it. So our Swami uses one, that becomes also very awkward. But anyway, but the thing is that you generally avoid that I. But Lord Krishna does not avoid. 108 times he uses asmat pratyaya. Because there is no abhimana at all. Because there is no ego at all, therefore to him, this I is like anything else. That I means only Paramatma, doesn't mean anything less than that. So he describes his glories not to boast, for us to appreciate. Because Arjuna asks him, Katham vidyamaham yogin tvam sada parichindayan keshu bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. Oh Lord, I want to know you. For knowing you, I want to constantly dwell upon you, think about you, meditate upon you. How do I do that? Please give me some expressions of yours. Keshu keshu bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. Oh Bhagavan, in what bhava, in what expressions of yours, which I can use for meditation upon your glory. Vistarenatmana yogam vibhutim jajananda bhuya katha. Oh Lord, you must describe. Divya hyatma vibhutaya. You must describe your divine glories so I can meditate. So whole 10th chapter and glories are all meant for meditation upon Saguna Brahma. So how can I know you by meditating? So Lord Krishna gives all these forms where in the 10th chapter. Now these forms are the forms that are prevalent, which you can appreciate. So when he says, I am the sun among all the luminaries, I am moon among all the luminaries at night, these are all forms which manifest the glory. In fact, everything is Ishvara. Then what is Ishvara? Then the Lord Krishna describes his glory that I am only sun among all the luminaries. All luminaries he is. But right now I can't see. So sun is something that possesses some glory which enables me to appreciate the presence of Ishvara there. All mountains are Ishvara. But Himalaya has some glory, something special about it. There's no question about it. All these things possess some special energy, which definitely influence you if you have some sensitivity. As I said, everybody doesn't have that, but then if you have it, then that's the reason why people come to Himalayas, etc., come to the Ganges, and so what is it? Jannavi, what is that? Srotastamasmi Jannavi. Among all Srotas or rivers, I am Jannavi, etc. That this possess something special, that's what it means. Whether it's you take the water and the test, nothing special about it. That's not so. That is not to be tested by all the mechanical means. This is not just a universe. There is a mechanical thing or material things. We don't look upon you as just a material thing. It is a live, intellectual, organic whole. This manifestation of Ishvara is divine things. But to experience divinity, you require a little different instrument. To experience material, you require intelligence, of course. But then to experience, that's why you to cultivate that. That's where Antakarana Shuddhi comes. So when you experience this divinity, then you experience that everything is Brahman, which is this transcendental. But to experience transcendental, to know, you to experience him as evident also, as immanent also. And therefore, just as Bhagavad Gita describes forms, when he says Ashwatha, that I am the Ashwatha tree among all, that's a tree. So I am that. So meditate upon Ishvara as Ashwatha tree. Or superimpose the idea of Ishvara upon that, upon Ganga, upon Himalaya, and so forth. That also became difficult for people. So all these forms were given, more tangible forms. Even as a people's mind, human mind, this Kali Yuga is there, and the Tamoguna comes in, impurities come. So the capacity to visualize, etc., becomes all, therefore we couldn't, even that became difficult. So first came Upanishad, this is what described, that this was Lord Krishna describes more tangible things than this. So the glories are described in Upanishads, there are very manifest things, but it requires a little more sophisticated mind. So Lord Krishna gives a little more tangible things for a little more dense mind, And for that, then further these are given for even more dense mind, I shouldn't say dense. What I'm saying is, as people's sensitivity, their ability to visualize, the subtlety of mind also deteriorates. You require something more tangible. In the beginning, only 1 cup of tea is enough. You require 6 cups of tea. Then tea is not. You need a harder thing, little harder thing to get the same thing. Then you got further harder. So similarly, they give you more, this is a negative example. But the thing is how as we become more and more tamasic, how simple things fail to turn us on. This is in America, it doesn't turn me on. It doesn't turn me on, it doesn't inspire me, it doesn't do anything to me. So he does that, as Swami you say, this music, classical music cannot, he requires music with active music, because then only can penetrate him. Become so dense, that you require dense things to penetrate. Meaning that Kali Yuga means tamas. As tamas goes and growing, the human mind also becomes more and more dense. So they require grosser things as alambana to help them think of Ishvara. But basically, so these all bhakti yoga. So what we talked about in all these days is upasana means mental worship of Ishvara. As is prescribed in the Upanishads for the minds that were available at that time. And we know that we cannot do this, but we still discussed it, knowing fully well that you may not necessarily, what is Swamiji talking about? Talk about Brahman, talk non-duality. We'll talk about that. We can talk about that also. Not that we cannot talk about non-duality and you alone know non. It's not such. But you must know duality also. Apara Vidya also should be known. That is nothing but glory of Ishvara. To know that. Ishvara has to come into our life. And thus this is a way to bring. So you, even if you don't meditate like this, you can appreciate the description here shows the glory of Ishvara as manifest. And so many different meditations are different glories of Ishvara. It's very inspiring. If you pay, if you spend some time with it. And so whether you visualize all that fire and that, but at least you can see how that this cosmic sacrifice is going on. How everything is sacrificing itself, self-sacrifice. Sacrifice means simple self-sacrifice. When Lord Krishna teaches yajna in Bhagavad, in self-sacrifice, not just give something, give yourself. Giving something is okay. Contributing money and then is all right. Contribute yourself. So that is then alone you will melt. This ego has to melt. That is by offering it. And so that is even grosser than this. Karma Yoga that Lord Krishna describes the first step, where tangible action is performed at the level of the physical body. There is also bhakti. Because that also ourselves to Ishvara. Then second step is this little more sophisticated bhakti where physical action is not involved, it is pure, is mental action. It's also action, no doubt. Somebody is saying it's also an action. Yeah, it's an action also. But it is a more difficult action because only mind is involved. So kayavang manah karyamuttamam pujanam japas chintanam krama pujanam japah chintanam kramat. So pujanam involves the limbs. So karma yoga is pujanam. And that karma yoga also became difficult. So this pujanam came. Because offering karma to Ishvara is easier said than done. Because when you are doing day-to-day activity, a lot of people keep on pushing your buttons. And so to maintain a mind free from raga dvesha is very difficult. So you need a setup where buttons are not pushed. And so you have an altar. And you have your own personal devata. And that's why you offer. He doesn't push buttons. He always smiles at you. And doesn't find fault with you. So Patihi Parameshwara is all right. Husband is, but he's not a, he's a tough Parameshwara, because he can complain, he can do all kinds of stuff. This Parameshwara doesn't do that. He always smiles. Lord Krishna always smiles. Or Devata, that's why we are smiling gods. Not hanging on there, and that's not our God. And always smiles. Regardless of what you offer. So when they may offer food, sometimes then when you realize you've forgotten salt, but he doesn't complain. Sometimes too much salt, also doesn't complain. He smiles. Everything is okay. So there you know that you are not going to be judged. The world always judges you. So to relate to world and to make offering is difficult. Here is one who does not judge you. You know that you're always accepted, safe, secure. And so without hesitation, you can offer what you have. The Pati Parameshwara may not accept it. What have you cooked today? Khichdi. But this God will not mind. What? I'm sorry about Pati, but I'm just giving an example. The Pati is Parameshwara, so just giving an example. But that's how easy to maintain that attitude of offering even in our day-to-day. It's not easy. Even Karma Yoga is not easy. That's why this came. Where you have a setup where your buttons are not pushed, where you know that you are safe and accepted, where you're not judged, where he's so vast that he can accept everything and is pleased with whatever you offer. So that's the beginning point. And that gives you training for this Karma Yoga. That gives you training for this Upasana. That gives you training for Brahma Vidya. So that is how stepwise, this is a complete system. Vedic system is a complete system. It's place for everybody. It doesn't mean that everybody has to do everything. So I have to do puja. You don't have to do puja. If you can do the second step, you need not do first step. Third step, fourth step, you think of Sarvam Khulyam Brahma, you can do that. You don't need to do anything. They're all steps given to us. And depending upon where we are, we can choose appropriate. That doesn't mean that you only do this. When you're in mood, do Aham Brahmasmi. Depends on your state of mind. In the early morning, when the mind is sattvic, yes, certainly. But then as sun rises, Rajas also rises. That's why all activities during the day. In India, of course, you start at 11 o'clock when the sun is already gone. In West, they start at 7 o'clock when the sun rises. Anyway, and so, then when the sun sets, all tamas comes. So that's why all this, the pradosha and all this, etc., all prayers. And so, it is not that one has to do everything. All this is there offered to you. It's like a buffet. You don't have to eat everything. People, when they go to this valley, they take everything in their plate, That's not so. Because even I want Thai food also, and Japanese food, and Chinese also, this also, that also, And then they leave 90%, You don't have to take everything. But at the same time, it's good to have a choice. Only one day, we have only one God. We have so many gods. We have only one God. It's like saying that in buffet we only have khichdi, nothing else. That's what it means. Only one. So if you have buffet, you have choice. So if you don't like that form, suppose for whatever reason, that one God, then what will you do? Here you don't like this other one is there. That is the third one is there. The Swami used to say that when this fellow said, oh Ganesha, please save me, oh Ganesha, and then Ganesha came. By the time he said, oh Narayana, please save me, and then Ganesha went back, Narayana came. Oh Narayana, save me, and then Sadashiva save me. He got drowned. See your devatas. So he says, we have the facility here. If Narayana is busy, he can always, hey Sadashiva, you go. He's busy, hey Ganesha, you go. So that's where if one fellow is there, one devata goes at the same time, but somebody else is requiring, where will he go? So you can send other devatas there. I mean, it all requires to be understood and to look at it with sympathy, not in an arrogant way, not in a rejective way, because that's they have an agenda of proving the superiority and proving that you are all, what shall I say? You fellows have, you don't know spirituality. You're immature fellows worshipping all stones and this, If they take some time to understand what you are doing, they will not say this. They don't want to. Why should they? You look like you are making a flower on stone. No, you are worshipping stone. Well, look at his mind, what is he worshipping? Anyway, the thing is that since we ourselves are so illiterate about our own tradition, so this is why we took this, that at least we are educated somewhat with our own tradition also. We need this. Aparavidya also we need. With the proper attitude also we need. Proper customs also we need. We should also need how the structure of the whole Vedic tradition is. We need all of that, So a complete picture we should have. And that was the reason why, without asking you, we chose this part as a subject matter of this camp. Suspecting that people will, frown upon that. And what is this Swami talking about? but we pushed it down to your throat anyway, whether you liked it or not. But hopefully, as I said, you will go back to this, look at it, think about it, and this is nothing but the Vibhuti Yoga of Ishvara. And what is bhakti is that you can maintain thought of Ishvara in your mind. And for that, some form is given to you or some alambana is given to you. And so different alambanas are there to help us think of Ishvara. So you're sitting here, you can look at the world and look at now what yajna is going on. And so you can, all this described here, you can sit here, look at the nature, look at the world, and enjoy the glory of Ishvara. So with that, we'll conclude our retreat here for this year. And you'll be relieved to know that next year we'll have 6th chapter of the Chandogya, because 5 chapters were completed. We're going to continue the same Upanishad, because we know that we can't complete it in one retreat. And nor can we do everything, because it will take 1 year. If Swami takes it like 10 years, He is our Swami TV. If he teaches, he'll need no less than 10 years. So what we can do in 1 or 2 years, he will take that much. But that time also we don't have, and we have only this 10 days. And then if you just do a little bit also, then also in 10 days, then also you go dissatisfied that we didn't know anything. So you have a lot of things. But the review of the things, you have the what shall I say, the vision of all these things. The vision is given here. So with that preparation, you can go to Brahma Vidya. So next 3 chapters, 6, 7, 8, these are all Brahma Vidya and Chandogya, which is what we propose to take in the subsequent sessions, if we have it there. So right now we are concluding with this one. Who knows in future? We don't know. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyade Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Panah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramato Balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirate Yaupanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.